Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. And so today, as you read the title, I'm going to be talking about the leak, well, I won't even really call it a leak, but just something that I saw in the hub a couple days ago. Actually, it was yesterday. So as you may know, we are getting the new battle pass this Saturday on the 16th. And it's genuinely been like almost, I want to say 2 months since we've gotten the current battle pass. But we're getting the new one on Saturday. And something interesting that I saw was when I was in the hub about to queue for ranked, I actually saw one of the admins, Llama, with a level 150 Luffus. Now, if you know, Luffus is maxed at 100. You cannot evolve him. There is no, like, if you go to quests. If you go to contracts, go to evolutions, I have 100%. I've done Gazo recently, Sato, and Kilo. There is no Luffus. So you may be thinking, and by the way, the Evos allow you to upgrade your champs past level 100 and use a new ability, if you didn't already know by now. So obviously, a level 150 Luffus means, it's not a visual glitch, I assume. I assume what happened was, they probably made it and then gave, like, since he's an admin, he can just give himself the, Evo, because, it would be in the unique section right here. So, assuming that's what happened, that means we're gonna get a Luffus Evo this new battle pass season, or whatever you want to call it. So here is me talking about what it could be, and probably also, since haven't updated in so long, I would assume we also might even get some other Evos. So I guess I was actually want to make this video like a month ago, because I was like, they really should make more Evos, because it would really help with like the competitive scene. I think also just having Evos for Sato, Gazo, and Kilo make them like the most used champions, because it's like, what other champions would you use? You know what I mean? When those three exist with their Evos. So Luffus, I think for Luffus, the Evo probably will be time hacky. Extendo Arm is a pretty decent ability. It's pretty well balanced. You know, you basically just stretch out your arm, like you just create like a little shot so it hits the ball, auto deflects. Gum Gum Balloon is basically like your levitate. They really need to rebalance this. Why is it level 5? Was it level 20? They definitely changed this. It used to be level 20 for this. They made it level 5. But yeah, it's basically your escape, your motion. So they can keep that. Or they probably will keep that, is what I'm saying. Glass Wall, also another decent ability. Basically, you have a glass wall and the ball will bounce off of it. It's a pretty good ability, pretty good auto deflects. And then, obviously time hacky, which is just slow time for 4 seconds. It slows down the ball. Well, it slows down the ball and then everything else, I guess. So like all physics, if that makes sense. Which is probably the worst ability out of all these, I feel, because it doesn't really do much. So honestly, if they're gonna make an Evo, it'd probably be on this time hacky, and I'm not sure what they'll actually do the Evo of, but probably something like that. I'm not playing right now. I might actually just join a private server, so I will cut ahead in a second. All right, so I'm back in a private server now. But yeah, so I think honestly, what most likely is going to be evolved is time hacky. I'm not sure if it's going to be a direct evolution, like if they're basically just going to make time hacky but better, kind of like with Saito or Sato, where it's like ground walls and aftershock, which is very similar, but one is like sped up. One is just obviously better. Aftershock is just better. Same with like Kilo's Zap Freeze, where Zap Deflect is just... I feel like Zap Freeze is honestly better than Zap Deflect in a lot of cases, but that's just my opinion. But it's basically like similar. It just like the ball hits you and it slows down a little bit and then speeds back up. instead of completely freezing for 2.5 seconds, which I feel like it used to be. I feel like it's longer than 2.5 seconds, but whatever. Gazo Evo Blindfold and Cursed Blue are two completely different abilities. So it could be a situation where it's just a completely different ability, or it could be something similar to Time Hacky, but they'll probably make it an auto deflect. But yeah, so we know we know that Luffus is most likely getting an evolution. However, I feel like they probably will do more. So Gloom, Denjin, Freera, and Wu were all Battle Pass characters. I don't think they're gonna get Evos. I don't think they'll do Evos. Same with Gemtoki. I don't think Gemtoki would get an Evo since no one really plays him competitively. Also, it's a paid pack, or paid champion, so they wouldn't want to make a champion that costs money be good, because then it would be seen as pay to win. So that leaves us with, I think, these 6 characters: Jiro, Torakai, Foxuru, Kameki, Koju, and Senshu. So for Jiro, I feel like I don't think they would Evo him, because Jiro, or at least if they did an Evo, it would be on Bomb Jump. Bonk is a pretty decent, it's very good for just trolling. Sidestep is pretty good competitively. Bungie's good competitively. Well, maybe not ranked, but it's pretty good. All of these abilities are good. I would see the weakest is the Bomb Jump, simply because when you use it, you go backwards instead of forwards. I feel like that should be changed. If they're not going to Evo him, they should at least change the direction of where the Bomb Jump happens. It should be, you launch forward, not backwards, because then if you want to go forward, you have to essentially look the other way and then do it. So if they're going to change anything, it should be on that. But they could also just do a normal motion, I don't know, something. But I don't think Jiro really needs an evolution. Torakai definitely needs an evolution. So yeah. So Torakai is a very interesting champion. I feel like the only good ability is Ice Shield / the Fireball, which basically Ice Shield creates 3 shields and basically three auto deflects. Fireball is an auto deflect, and it creates a extra ball that does damage. So it's basically Gazo's fake ball, but it actually does damage. This is the only good, and I guess Ice Slide and Fire Run or whatever it is. This is also decent. I don't think it really needs to be evolved. Ice Zone definitely, and Fire, this needs to be evolved. I don't know into what, but this needs to be an actual evolution, because Torakai is good until Face Off, because you lose Ice Shield and Fireball. So literally you just have Ice Slide, or though you're running, and that's basically it. Ice Zone doesn't deflect, it doesn't really, it doesn't really do anything. So, I think they need to fix it. Even if they don't make it an auto deflect, they need to give it more than what it is now. Or at least the Fire one, instead of just lifting the ball up, it should speed up the ball. So when it goes through, instead of going up, it should just speed up the ball when you hit it, when the ball goes through it. That would be pretty cool. It doesn't even have to be an evolution. That just should be how it naturally works. Which they've done this, with Foxuru. Ninja Run used to not be an auto deflect, but now it is. So they changed this about a month ago. But Foxuru used to be the trashiest champion. But now it's somewhat viable because Ninja Run's an auto deflect. Shadow Clone, I feel like, okay, well, I feel like the worst out of all these is Tree Jump. Fox Armor is very good. It gives you an extra health point, so that's no need for an evolution. Ninja Run, because they added auto deflect, no need for an evolution. Shadow Clone, I feel like it's unique. So even though it's not that good, it's unique enough to where I feel like it kind of gives Foxuru a difference from any other champion. like Kilo, for example. Tree Jump also is very unique, but it's just unnecessary. It's like almost like Blindfold on Gazo's. It's like the same thing as Blindfold on Gazo. It's like Blindfold does nothing for the player, right? It's literally just blindfold a player for 3 seconds. And it's not even a complete like darkness. It's just they can barely see, or not barely see. They lose like 50% of their vision. The screen gets like 50% darker or something like that. So honestly, they need to. I think that's why Blindfold was the one that was chosen to be evoed. So of course, I think Tree Jump should be evoed. It can be something completely different. It doesn't even have to be related to trees or whatever. But just Tree Jump is the most likely to get evoed. If they, and again, this is all, even if they only have Luffus for the evo, I'm just saying, like, if they ever evo these champions, which I assume they will at some point, these are the ones that'll probably get evoed. Kameki is honestly, it's a very well-balanced character. You have Dragon Rush, which is your motion. It also auto-deflects. Instant Travel is also another motion, and it also kind of auto-deflects. It's good for, it works in ranked and in regular play. Key Blast is also very good. Death Ball is also another good one. But it's also more of like a gambly type thing where like, yeah, 2 times damage for the ball, but like you could also get hit by the ball. So honestly, Kameki as a champion, I feel like adding an Evo would just make it too OP. I feel like if they did a Evo on Death Ball, which is probably the weakest quote unquote ability. But Instant Travel also, I feel like these are the two. Instant Travel and Death Ball are the weakest abilities on this champ. But if they were to Evo one, I think if you want to make them OP, Evo Death Ball, and basically you'd have 4 auto deflects, which would be insane. It's Kilo level. But at least Kilo loses Assassin Invisibility. So you would have to make him lose something, because 4 auto deflects. I don't think there's a single champion where you have 4 auto deflects. That's all abilities, and you get to keep them all game. Not sure. Yeah, most of them, like, you lose at least 1 if it is all 4. So yeah, Death Ball should be the one that gets evoed. If you want to make him OP. If you don't want to make him OP, Evo Instant Travel. I don't know what you would replace it with, but I'm sure they can think of something. Koju also is a pretty well-rounded character, same as Kameki. I think Leap Strike is pretty decent. Chain Spear is decent. I think the only thing about Chain Spear is that you can't use it when the ball's already coming towards you, which I think balances out a bit more. Handgun is just OP, and you can use it in face-off. I think in like OG Death Ball you could not do that, but they actually made it where you could. So you can do some crazy plays with handgun. Spirit Wall I feel like should be the one to get evoed, and they should make it like Lightning Intercept, which basically just creates a shield around you, and if the ball hits the shield, it's basically an auto deflex, right? So do something like that. Or a really creative thing would be, since Koju used to be the champ you would get from Cursed Spirit Boss, and in Cursed Spirit Boss, Cursed Spirit Boss, you know, where you, I think it was actually the original one where you would lose your abilities for a little bit. That could be an Evo, like specifically for Koju, where like you could make everyone lose their abilities for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds maybe. That would be a pretty good Evo to put on Spirit Wall, because it would affect other people, and like it gives you an advantage, you know. But yeah, that'd be a cool ability. And then Senshu is like a pretty low. It's pretty like, it's like D tier. Egoist Warp is goofy, because even if you only use 2 of the uses, it will still reload and it takes forever to recharge. Charge Kick is decent. Yellow Card is, I don't even know. Yellow Card I feel like is usable, but like it's not that good. Juggling Blast is okay. So Juggling Blast is okay. Charge Kick is okay. If you were gonna evo a character, or evo a ability, do Yellow card, and then Ego is Warp. Make it where it doesn't automatically reload. Make it reload once you use all 5, because I think that shouldn't. Even if you're not gonna evo the character, just make that change, because it is so goofy how I'll use like I'll click like 1 time, and then like after 5 seconds it'll just go ahead and reload, and now I can't use the ability like at all for the next like 45 seconds. It's like, it's so stupid. That should just be changed. So those, I don't know if they're gonna evo more than any of those champions, but if they do, that's like the best ones they would be able to evo to make it better. Now if we're talking about the these characters, the battle pass characters, I don't think they need evos yet, at least. But if you're gonna evo them, Wu, Blink is probably the weakest one. Blink, evo Blink, I don't know what, but evo it. Bloom, you would evo Dark Reversal. Everything else is fine. Dark Reversal, and then honestly make it like you can do it where it's not enabled in face off, but like change Dark Reversal to be, no, just make Dark Reversal like maybe where like you can run, but it's not an auto deflect, or it's something, because I guess that is what Shadow Rampage is, but it's also like, I don't know. Denjin, Overheat is pretty well balanced, so don't, even though it's not OP or good per se, it's balanced. Like it gives the character like some sort of, honestly Denjin I feel like is a decent character. Not even just like in playability, but like all of its abilities are about the same in terms of quality, that I can't say which one you would evo. I mean, you have Jet Dash, which is your movement. Gravity Hold and Orbital Cannon, both auto deflects. They both do the same thing, really. Except for Overheat affects this one, Orbital Cannon. And then Overheat is Overheat. So I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even be able to tell you what you would evo for Denjin. And then Friera, again, I feel like this is one of those champions where it's like all of the abilities are good. Like Skyglide, Skyglide's kind of goofy. Swap out Skyglide for something else. Maybe a different movement. Mana Shot is good. Ruin Guard is good, really good. That's why it's disabled in face off. Singularity, also good. So really evo Skyglide. And then I guess for funsies, Gem Toki, if you want to evo it, Gem Hunt should be auto deflect. There, that can be like, well, I guess you want it, I guess like if you want it to make some sense, like just do a evo for level 100, and then if you get it to level 1, or get it to a certain level, once you evo it, make Gem Hunt, but it's like crystals maybe instead, where you can do crystals instead, and then make it an auto deflect. I think that would make it somewhat playable, and maybe people would buy it, and then, you know, it's not just a collector's item. But anyways, that's really all I want to say. I just want to talk about, you know, different ways that they can evo champions and what I see them doing with the evos. We're getting the update in 2 days, so everything I said will be confirmed in 2 days, and I will be recording that. I've recorded a lot of times when like we got updates, but I never actually post them. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.